Hello everyone. Today in this video let us continue the solutions of exercise 3.1 from chapter 3 pairs of linear equations in two variables from grade 10 NCERT book. Okay, coming to the question number 3. On comparing the ratios a1 by a2, b1 by b2 and c1 by c2, find out whether the following pairs of linear equations are consistent or inconsistent. You need to check whether the pair of equations are consistent or inconsistent. To know that for consistent or inconsistent, the condition should be if a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, that means the coefficients of x and coefficients of y are not equal, the ratios are not equal, then the equations are said to be consistent. And similarly, if a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2, the ratios of the coefficients a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but the value should not be equal to c1 by c2, then the equations are said to be inconsistent. And one more condition, if a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 and also it is equal to c1 by c2, then also the equations are said to be consistent. Okay, so these are the three conditions you need to remember. a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2, they are consistent, and a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2, then they are inconsistent. a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 and they are also equal to c1 by c2, they are also said to be consistent. So in two cases they are consistent. So these three things you need to remember, and we will go to the next page. Now coming to the question number 1 in this. 3x plus 2y equal to 5 and 2x minus 3y equal to 7. Here let us write this in the form of a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, like this. Putting the constant into the left side, we will get the first equation as this, and second equation is 2x minus 3y minus 7 is equal to 0, bringing constants to left side. Now here we observe that a1 by a2. So here a1 is 3, a2 is 2. So a1 by a2 should be equal to 3 by 2. Okay, and b1 is 2 here, b2 is minus 3. So b1 by b2 is equal to minus 2 by minus 3 actually, which we can also write it as minus 2 by 3. Okay, so you can observe that a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. So let us write a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2. So what happens if a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are not equal? The equations are said to be consistent. The equations are said to be consistent and they intersect in one point, so they have one solution. Okay, so this is about first question. Okay, coming to the second one. Now in the second question also, let us rewrite the equations as 2x minus 3y minus 8 equal to 0, and the second equation as 4x minus 6y minus 9 equal to 0. These are the two equations. Now here a1 by a2, coefficients of x both. So let us write a1 by a2 is equal to 2 by 4. Okay, so 2 by 4, and let us write b1 by b2, which is equal to coefficients of y minus 3 by minus 6, which is equal to, we can write like 1s are 2s are, and even here also 2 1s are 2 2s are. So here a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are both equal to 1 by 2. So there is a need to find out c1 by c2 also. If they are not equal, no need to find c1 by c2. If they are equal, definitely you need to go with the c1 by c2 also, because if these two are only equal and this is not equal, then we can say that the equations are inconsistent. But if they are all equal, it may be a consistent. So we need to find c1 by c2 also always when the a1 and a2 and b1 by b2 are equal. Okay, let's write minus 8 by minus 9. Yeah. So the constants, the ratio of the constants, minus 8 by minus 9, which we can write as 8 by 9. So now clearly a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal but not equal to c1 by c2. So we can write a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. Therefore, the equations are inconsistent. And we can say that they are parallel lines actually. They are parallel lines and they have no solution at all. They don't intersect, so they don't have any point in common. So their lines are parallel. So now coming to the question number 3. Now let us write question number 3 also, like 3 by 2x plus 5 by 3y minus 7 is equal to 0, and the other equation 9x minus 10y minus 14 equal to 0. Now here also let us find a1 by a2 first. a1 by a2 is equal to, a1 is the fraction form 3 by 2, coefficient of x. So 3 by 2 by a2 is 9. So any fraction divided by, think this 9 as 9 by 1. Any fraction divided by fraction, you can write it as 3 by 2 into reciprocal of the second fraction, 1 by 9. So 3 ones, 3 threes. So the answer is 1 by 6. Now coming to b1 by b2. Let us see b1 by b2 is, b1 is 5 by 3. Let us write 5 by 3 in the numerator. b2 is minus 10. Let us write here. Minus 10 you think as minus 10 by 1. So we can write as 5 by 3 times 1 by minus 10. And 5 ones, 5 twos. Again you will get 1 by 6, but with a negative sign. Be careful, there is a negative sign. So 1 by 6 and minus 1 by 6. Clearly they are not equal. So whenever you have a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are not equal, we can say that the equations are consistent. The equations are consistent and they have one point in common. They have one point in common, one solution. They are intersecting lines. Okay. Now coming to the question number 4. 5x minus 3y equal to 11. Let us write this equation as 5x minus 3y minus 11 equal to 0. And the second equation minus 10x plus 6y, bringing this minus 22 to left side becomes plus 22 equal to 0. Now here a1 by a2. a1 by a2 means 5 by minus 10 coefficients of x, which is equal to 5 ones, 5 twos, and you can bring minus n to the numerator. So the standard form is minus 1 by 2. Now coming to b1 by b2. Let us do b1 by b2 also. So b1 is minus 3 here. b2 is plus 6. So again doing cancellation, 3 ones, 3 twos with minus sign. Again we will get minus 1 by 2. So there is a need to find out c1 by c2 also whenever you have a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal. So let us do c1 by c2 also. Here c1 is minus 11, c2 is plus 22. If you do cancellation, 11 ones, 11 twos, again we are getting a minus 1 by 2 only. So that means we observe that a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, and also they are equal to c1 by c2 also, which are all equal to minus 1 by 2. So whenever these all ratios are equal, the lines are coincident and they are consistent. They are called consistent equations, or consistent. And we can say that they are coincident lines and they have infinite solutions. They are consistent and they are coincident here because all are equal. So they are called coincident lines and they have infinite solutions. So basically they are consistent. Okay, coming to question number 5. The equations are 4 by 3x plus 2y equal to 8. Let us write this as 4 by 3x plus 2y minus 8 is equal to 0. And the second equation I will write it as 2x plus 3y minus 12 equal to 0. Okay. Now coming to a1 by a2. a1 by a2 here, it is a1 is 4 by 3. Let us write 4 by 3 in the numerator. By a2 is 2 here. So which we can write it as 4 by 3 times 1 by 2 by 1. This is actually, we can write it as 1 by 2. 1s are, 2s are. So the answer is 2 by 3. Let us do b1 by b2. b1 by b2 is equal to, b1 is 2 here, b2 is 3 here, obviously, which is equal to 2 by 3 itself. So a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal. So let us find c1 by c2 also. So here c1 by c2 is equal to minus 8 constants by minus 12. So minus minus cancel, and these two goes in 4 table, 4 2s, 4 3s are 12. So c1 by c2 is also 2 by 3. So whenever a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2, and they are all equal to 2 by 3. So the equations, the two pairs of equations are consistent again. So they are consistent and also coincident lines, and they have infinite solutions. So they are consistent. Okay. Coming to the question number 4.